I see you, Jamir. Hey, Farah. Okay, now Jamir, yes. Jamir sent a request to be live. I'm gonna go. Hi, Farah. Hey. Okay, Farah, I hope you have already watched Black is King. Oh, fashions.
Stop it. Listen, you have like better light than I do right now. What's happening?
I have a whole setup here.
Yeah, you have a full setup. Hold on, let me change my entire setup now. Okay. Here we are.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Woo! I don't like that your light is better than mine.
Yes, you got to sit with the light pointing towards your face.
You know what? This is what's crazy.
Hi, Christy. Hi, Amani. Thank you. I brushed my hair and everything for Jamir. And so that we could get on. Hey, Nikki. I brushed my hair so that we could get on and talk about the Queen Mother.
The Queen Mother.
I hope everybody who's coming tonight has already watched it because we don't want to spoil it for anybody.
And if so, we apologize.
We apologize in advance. But here's the thing. It requires several watches. So whatever you get from us in this limited amount of time will not be enough. It will
not at all. Not even
justice.
Close. Yeah, not even close.
No. So, hey, Fifi. Okay, so this is going to be fun. Oh, by the way, sidebar, my mother sends me a text and she says, I know you've already seen the Beyoncé thing. I said, of course, mommy. I said, I'm having a whole talk tonight. And so I sent her the flyer and she says, well, how do I get on to IGLive? So Chelsea is upstairs explaining to my mother how to get on to IGLive. So this is Fun Friday.
This is Fun Friday. Well, listen, everyone. So everyone knows I don't drink, but shout out to Boz. But, you know, we're going to toast for Friday.
Toast for Fridays. Yes.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jamir?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day. I'm here in DC, and the energy is beautiful. I got Sade in the background, Beyonce earlier today. Look, I should have actually had Beyonce. You know, I'm going to change that. Alexa.
You know what?
Turn on Beyonce. This is about Beyonce today.
This is about Beyonce and the Carter family.
Hi, Fifi. How are you?
Yes. Jamir.
Look, first song that comes on, Brown Skin Girls.
Yes. So let's set this up. Okay, so we'll set this up for our friends who are with us here on Friday night. Okay.
And I was going to read stuff too, so you go ahead.
Okay, so Jamir. So for anybody who doesn't know Jamir, but I think everybody in here does so far. So far, everybody knows Jamir. So, hey. It's on here. Hey, Steven. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay, so for whoever doesn't know Jamir is a fashion aficionado. We used to work together at Bloomingdale's. We go way back.
We did.
Jamir is also the host of the JamirSmithShow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so follow him. Hi, Patty Deloatch. Okay, so Patty Deloatch made it on here.
She is in the building. Mommy is here.
But we can't see you, Mom, so don't worry about it. We
right.
can't see you, so whatever you're doing, go ahead. You can keep doing it. So we go way back. And really quick story. So when Lemonade came out, when the Lemonade video came out,
okay.
I remember where I was. It's like, where were you when Lemonade aired? I was at 12 Hotel having dinner.
Okay.
And I got a call from you. And you said, Alex, something has happened. I don't know what's going on with J and B, but something's wrong. And you have to watch Lemonade.
The energy was wrong. It was a weird moment. Yeah.
Yeah, like something. So I remember, so when this one came up, I was like, I really want to talk about it because I tried to write after I watched Lemonade. I was like, oh my God. I closed the computer and I was like, whoa. And so I started to write this article, which is probably like untitled article number 20 on my laptop. I never finished it. Everybody said what I thought before I finished it. Tommy, hi Kira. So this time I was like, no, we're going to get on. We're going to talk before all the think pieces come out, all the articles that are being written. We're going to talk about it right away.
Yep.
I watched it today.
In the moment.
You watched it today.
I did.
Okay. So
I want to give you a quick little bloop, bloop, bloop that I had read earlier, and shout out to The Cut. And for the people that don't and living under a rock, literally, this has been all over the world at this moment. Reimagining the story of the Lion King across the modern world, including South Africa, West Africa, Europe, New York, and LA. Black is King follows a young boy's journey to self-discovery. Beyoncé absorbs the lessons of past generations and explores African customs to present elements of Black history and African traditions. That's all I want to stop. That's all I want to say. It's a lot to unpack, Alex. And I must say, I think, and I'll let you start it off, but I will say it was a moment. It really was a moment, and it was a beautiful collection of creativity, of color, of God, just it was very Black. It was very, very Black.
Very, very Black. Yeah.
It was. And you know, I think we can't end this, of course, without talking about, you know, the wardrobe, which was out of this world. And I was able to pull a couple of my favorite designers and, you know, things like that. So you go ahead.
So shout out to the Beehive.
Yes, shout out to the Beehive.
Karen has put some bees up for us.
I love it.
So I don't know where, there's so many things. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw things out. Okay. And then you take them, and then this is totally casual, okay?
Absolutely.
So first I want to start with, this was my first note.
Okay.
The baby in the basket is like the first scene, obviously a reference to Moses.
Correct.
Right? And putting the baby in the basket and letting the baby go. Also a reference to the transatlantic slave trade and our journey across water, but also I thought a reference to humble beginnings, right? And the journey that you traverse individually in life, collectively as a people, from humble beginnings, without direction, trusting, you know.
It was like a fresh start. It was one of those things that, you know, let you go into the world and be free. And how do I cleanse the spirit again to just be a better person and understand, really, as you said, a new beginning. And that's exactly what it was.
Interesting. Hi, Black Stallion.
Hey, Black Stallion. Hey, Travis.
A new beginning. Interesting. So that's where we start with the film. And then one thing that I didn't quite grasp, I didn't get the through line of the king from beginning to end. I felt like the basket goes and then we go right into
yep
B time.
You know, I felt like she had so much delivery that she just had to put so many pieces into the entire product. And I think that was something a friend of mine was talking about earlier, about the cohesiveness of the Lion King and how some people really didn't grasp it. And I think I had to look a lot deeper really into it. And I saw, you know, different aspects of it. But I think that there should have been a little bit more of a clearer understanding. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought it was hard to kind of follow the boy, and, you know, but a lot of images that kind of, like you said, were like quick messages where you kind of got a quick piece and then, you know, which is why I say going back and watching it is going to be.
Because I feel like there was so much to take in that we're going to miss something, clearly. You know? Yeah.
So what was the next thing that hit you or that hit you from the beginning? So for me, it was the baby in the basket, the biblical reference, right? And then she goes way into some spiritual stuff that I want to get into later.
I think what really hit me at the beginning was you were able to see the growth, and I think I just want to speak on Beyonce for a moment. You were able just to see the growth of Beyonce as an artist. You were really able to see her grow in her character, in her characterization. But in addition to, you were able to see really just this character of a woman becoming into her womanhood. And it was so beautiful to see her, you know, understand the mistakes that she's made, and she's just trying to be a wife and still trying to figure that out in the interim. But then also really just seeing how she's growing and she wants to grow, you know, with her husband and throughout this with her children. And that's what I got, you know, even from the beginning. It was just, it was done so eloquently and it was very clean. And I think she chose the white as purity. And I think that's the reason why we decided to do that first. And I think, you know, when it went right into, there was a glam of this bedazzled number. My God, that was by Be Blue Dazzled. And it was like her lingerie outfit that just kind of stood out to me. Because
thank you for doing the research and taking the notes on this. I had to go get Five Guys. I had to go get like food so the kids would let me do this. So I didn't get to. So thank you. Okay, carry on.
No. And I think, you know, with that one, it's the founder of Destiny Blue, and he's worked with Beyonce with the Formation Tour. But in addition to, I think, you know, looking at everyone who's commented on this, it is a lingerie. First of all, rewind. If you see Beyonce and how she's become so comfortable just in her skin, and she hasn't, even though she still had a flat stomach, let's start there. But she's become a mom. And I think that's what we have to appreciate about women, about mothers, is that they have, once you become comfortable in yourself, and that's how she showed her vulnerability at the beginning and how beautiful she was and flawless and clean and clear and how everything was just, sorry.
Yeah, I read somewhere that her makeup artist, I don't know if it was her regular makeup artist, Sir John, or if it was like another artist who was working with her, said that he really tries to put makeup on her, and she doesn't like a lot of makeup. She likes to be really natural.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of her, like in her womanhood, I was thinking that as I was watching it, it's so interesting to watch her evolve as an artist over time. Because admittedly, I was not a Beyonce fan before the album 4. After the album 4, to me, because I'm a little bit older than Beyonce, not much, but the album 4 to me was the first time that it was the first mature womanly album. She was talking about being a wife and being a mother and being in love with her husband, and there were like a lot of themes that I could relate to. Before Bootylicious and Check Up On It, it was like, okay, that's cute.
This is like little bouncy music. Yeah,
I was like, that's fun. But that album, I feel like, was the first album that really she started revealing herself.
Exactly. And you were able just to see a lot of similarities in just like her work and yourself and just life and people. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had really been able to get at 4, I believe, and I know we're not talking about 4, but 4 was just that album. I think we were able to see Beyonce evolve and to really separate herself from, you know, the Destiny's Child and just really becoming a clearer artist that we could actually understand and relate to. Because I felt like, you know, as artists, they have to really fit into this box. And she was able to really remove herself from this box for the first time and then just reveal herself with 4. So that was a very pure album, actually.
Yeah, it was really good.
How are you?
So, Jamir, we love the wallpaper. I'm just going through the notes really quick.
Thank you.
Hi, my cousin Cookie.
Myself,
I hope you.
If you guys see some flaws, that was me. I put it up myself.
So the music. Okay, so Fifi brought up one of the songs. The song on the beach. You said this is Fifi. It was so deep. I had to listen to it twice. That is very true. A lot of the music, I was like, okay, it's the visuals and it's the beat and
it was a lot.
Lyrics. It was a lot. But let me ask you this. Okay, so when I first heard the album, this is all the Lion King album, right?
Right.
When the album first came out, I thought, okay. I mean, I listened to 1 or 2 and I was like, you know. But now that I've seen this film, I've gone back to the album and I'm like, oh wait, I need to listen to this whole thing again. And did you feel the same way?
The same way, to a T, because I think that, you know, we weren't, not to say we weren't as invested whenever the album came out, because I think we still love Beyonce and we love the moment that she was in and being a part of the huge conglomerate that Disney, you know, had, which is the Lion King. We were happy to hear Beyonce, of course, make this beautiful album. But I think now to see this visual and to put a visual with the songs and how personal they were, but then how deep it was for the culture, I think was absolutely phenomenal.
You know, it made me think, we've gotten away from videos, right? Because everything is kind of one song at a time, and videos were important when we were young, and you had MTV, and the box and BET, and you watch videos all day, and you're like, did you see that video? And you're recreating the videos and doing the dances. And we've really gotten away from videos. And I appreciate how not only is she bringing the video back, she's upping the craft, like Michael Jackson level, right?
It's very much Michael Jackson level. And a lot of people that like to argue with it, you know, unfortunately, listen, Beyonce has definitely put her work in. And I think we definitely have to give her that credit. Maybe not at Michael Jackson's status, but dang near close to it. So
yeah. So I think the video is important to the music, and I think that's just interesting. Okay, so let's get into the major themes. I have my idea. There were so many things I wrote down, but
go ahead. I'm letting you work this. I'm just
okay. All right. But you can lead me. I'm open to being led.
Of course.
Right. Here's one of the quotes that I wrote down that I really loved was "lead or be led astray." So this is when the little boy is walking into the warehouse.
Yep.
And when he's walking into the warehouse, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, this reminds me of two things. It reminds me of the scene from The Wiz when Michael Jackson and everybody, they get to Eveline's lair, and there's a little monkey in the background. And I was like, am I overthinking this, or is this a reference?
Symbolism. Yeah, it's meaning something.
Right, to The Wiz, and that entering an evil and questionable place, right, in a scary place, and it also reminded me of This Is America, the Childish Gambino.
You know, it was one of those scenes that, you know, in my mind I thought about when Simba and Nala were going into the hyena's nest, and you know, he was very much trying to be strong, and he knew that, oh, I can conquer it all. But I think, unfortunately, we got to see exactly what you said, you know, someone that's extremely fearful in that factor. But that was a very beautiful scene because you were really able to see the aggression and how rough and rugged Beyonce really wanted. I remember when she was doing one of the videos and she said she wanted to go to a very grungy part of Paris, and to see how rough, and I don't know if that part was in South Africa or wherever, you know, it was a beautiful scene because you were able to see, you know, him as a little boy trying to be grown up and trying to push through. And shout out to that scene because I don't know if that was the one. I was looking at one of my favorite outfits, and I don't know if you guys can see, but this one, phenomenal. So this one, honestly, was one of my favorite from Lazo, and I'm so sorry I'm mispronouncing your last name, but Maleombho, and she's a West African designer based in Africa as well, and she stood for an image of African royalty, which she says that Beyonce embodied perfectly. And I think just to see Beyonce in these big Bantu knots and these huge, humongous earrings, but then really this exaggerated shoulder sleeve with these, you know, pieces of hardware and the garter. Like, I mean, everything was phenomenal. That whole scene was beautiful.
So what do you think so Zarina Akers was the stylist.
Correct.
And if you go to Zarina Akers' page, she's like name calling all of the designers. So if any of you want to, you know, check it out afterwards, please go to her page, Zarina Akers.
Amazing.
Zarina Akers has been putting Beyonce in a lot of Black designers for years now. And there are quite a few Black designers who can credit their, you know, kind of jump and ability to grow to Beyonce because she will wear these designers. I imagine it's a collaboration between Beyonce and Zarina. You know, Beyonce saying, here's the message I want to send. I want to wear Black designers, and then sending Zarina out to find them. And so they've been doing it very quietly, without a statement, not saying this is my message, this is what I'm about, this is who I'm wearing. She's just been doing it. And Zarina really took it there with this video.
I mean, pushed it, guys. And I must say, you know, even to rewind, I think to even see, Alex and I were talking about Remix the other day, and to see Misa Hilton low-key making this MCM bodysuit number for Beyonce like amazing. And again, as to Alex's point, everything is very low key, and that's what we appreciate about Beyonce is that she will continue to try and put people on that we may have not have heard of, but I think that's what's necessary to see people of color to showcase their collections on celebrities. And of course, why not one of the biggest celebrities in the world, Beyonce? So absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when she did Lemonade, I remember a lot of the words that were, you know, that she was reciting in the film were from the poet, and I did not write it down. Or so if anybody knows it, jump in here for me. I believe it's Warsan.
Okay.
But she referenced the same. She used the same poet to pen a lot of the words in this film also.
Okay.
And when Lemonade came out, people were saying, you know, that's not her work. You know, she's using other people's words, but she certainly gave the credit. But
correct.
But Chelsea and I watched the last 5 minutes is credits.
Okay.
I mean, the number of artists that were involved in the production. So the fashion designers, the dancers, the stylists, the everything.
Everyone.
I made a note. I said, Beyonce is a vehicle. She's using her stage as a channel to put on all these other people. There were whole segments of the film where we didn't see Beyonce.
At all.
At all.
And I think that's what you have to credit her for that. You have to, because for her to see, and I forgot the rapper who was on there, and he woke up out of the bed and he went into one of the Cadillac cars, and literally it was him by himself. I think you probably saw Beyonce once, like she was in a band, and she literally credits so many people and puts other people on, which is phenomenal. And I think that's the positivity behind this, from artists, as you say, from artists to hairdressers to designers to other rappers. And I remember one of the guys, I was watching the Formation tour the other day online, and there was a DJ who said he had just come off tour, and he was like, I'm so exhausted. But he got the call to come on Beyonce's tour. He was like, I'm there. And it's just that opportunity, that platform, as you say, that vehicle is huge. So phenomenal.
Absolutely. And I really personally believe, and I've talked about this with friends before, there's a real renaissance going on right now. I think she's a part of it. I think her sister Solange is a part of it. I think Virgil Abloh is a part of it. And right. Where it crystallized for me was when at the High Museum we had the Solange film that she showed, and I watched the film and I thought, there's so many artists that participated in this, and so many artists that she partnered with. The same for Virgil. When I walked through the Virgil Abloh exhibition, there were a lot of pieces
which was phenomenal, Alex.
And a lot of it was not his work. He had Tremaine Emory in there. He had there were several artists that were that he collaborated with, that he found. And so it's kind of redefining what it means to be an artist, right? I'm not necessarily the creator of the object. I'm the creator of the idea.
Correct.
And then I work with these other artists, or I'm the catapult or the platform for the idea, right? You know, in the social media world, I have the following, I'm the platform, and then I'm gonna, bring this whole group together to create something new I wouldn't have created on my own.
No, I love it. And I think that's exactly who she is and who she's now. And I hate to say the word, I hate to use the word allowed to be, but now that she's at a place in her career that she's able to create avenues for other people, I think it's a beautiful thing. So go.
Yes.
What else?
So just another line I wrote down that I love. And I think this is the same rapper that you were talking about. Oh, we should have like written down everybody's names. I'm like watching the show. I'm trying to take it in. I'm like, I should have written down names. But one line that I love was sheep don't run with lions. I love it. That whole song. I was like, okay. New Morning song.
New Morning.
Right? So there was one song that I wanted to talk about that I felt like, well, not the song, but just this idea that I felt like was running through the whole thing was, who are you? Right?
Mm.
So the little boy is asked that question when he goes into the place that, the warehouse place, and somebody says, who are you? Who are you? And that was running throughout it, right? And I felt like the whole theme of the film was remembering who you are. Yeah. Right, figuring out who you are and then remembering, right? And that's also the Lion King story, right? Simba didn't know he was a king
because he didn't know who he was, and then literally he came to not Zazu, but one of the monkey guy who was played by Robert Guillaume, and he was just like, do you know who you are? He was like, I'm no one. He was like, even nobodies are someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I think that question is so important for us right now. I think the divinity of this film coming out the day after John Lewis's funeral.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And watching that service and hearing from Obama and the charge that he put
mm-hmm.
on all of us.
Correct.
Right? To take snakes don't swing with the monkeys. That is my Chelsea. Yes.
Run the lion, snakes. Snakes
don't swing with the monkeys. But Obama put a charge on all of us, right? To take responsibility, to take ownership, and to walk into the legacy left by John Lewis, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I'm watching the film, and she's talking about who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you remember who you are? And I thought, who's going to show us? Like, I felt like what that film was about was about showing us and giving us a narrative and a way to consider thinking about ourselves.
Correct.
Because who writes the narrative? Who decides
who you are?
Who you are, who we are as a people collectively? Who decides how we see ourselves, how we're portrayed in the media? What's acceptable and what's not, and right. Are we going to take ownership of the way that we see ourselves? Are we going to decide for ourselves who we are and then put that message out?
I think you made an amazing point of, as a society, we've gone through so much. And I think this came out at a moment that was necessary, especially, with the passing of John Lewis and the phenomenal speech from Barack Obama. I think we have to look at the narrative from systemic racism to police brutality and the protest and just people of color really trying to find their voice again. And I think that it's huge. I discussed this one on my show, that it is a huge mental that we're all going through. And we all question ourselves so much on trying to figure out who we are and what is our purpose. And that's what I appreciate about this film, is that throughout the discovery of Simba, and Beyoncé saw herself, throughout the discovery of Beyoncé growing in the birth at the beginning, to leading her children away, to her establishing herself as an artist, to Simba finding out who he is as a man, and Beyoncé finding out who she is as a woman and as a mother and as a friend and as a wife. And that's what we need. We need these moments of clarity. And that's what the film spoke to me about. Even though I'm a guy, there were so many references of growth. And I think that's the beauty behind this. Absolutely.
So, why don't you go? You go. You throw something at me. I'm still thinking about this idea of what did King Kobe say? A narrative and a strong visual of who we are collectively.
Exactly.
I really am eager to see her do more of this. Solange do more of this. And
I was about to ask you, where do you see this film going? Where do you see the narrative? Because the thing is, once you make a product like this, you can't really go backwards and do, something, and I hate to say mediocre, but she has to now continue the conversation. And Solange has to continue the conversation, or a Rihanna, or an Erica, or a Jill, because I think that's the voice that's needed to kind of help guide, certain people in a route that we need, in a way that we need as well.
That's interesting, because I've had this conversation so many times, right? In light of, in reference to the Carters in general, right? Because we all feel a way about her husband right now. I don't
listen, hold on. Before you say that, I'm going to let you finish.
Okay.
Even though we feel how we want to about people's husbands and wives, I put this on the show on Entanglement. And the reality, this is not about Jada. But what I wouldn't, everybody knows I love Jada. But what I will say, it ain't none of our business. And that's all I gotta say. But go ahead.
Right. Well, okay. I don't feel like Beyonce is the one to have the conversation.
Okay.
I feel like Beyonce is the artist and she's there to present the visual art.
Okay.
And the music.
Okay.
Which is what that's her gift.
That is her gift. Absolutely.
I don't think she's a speaker. You know, it's kind of,
no, she's not.
No. We love her, but
let's keep it all the way 100. No, she's not. But
yeah. So and I don't think she's the one to articulate a path forward, but I really am attracted to the regalness.
Correct.
And the power and the strength
yep.
that she's communicating and that she's trying to awaken, right? Yep. And I want someone to pick that up and then run with it.
Yep.
You know, like on a Marcus Garvey,
James Baldwin type of as you say, regal. There was one of this beautiful outfit by Lace by Tanya. And it's interesting how we can bounce off of each other. So it was the crystal fringe Lace by Tanya's. She made this glittering fringe dress for Beyonce over a year ago. And this was the piece that, if you guys can see this one, that she was just extremely elegant. And I remember she took it off and it was just nothing but this beautiful silhouette of Beyonce and this gorgeousness of crystals and beauty and all of these things that was just, oh my God, amazing, amazing, amazing. But you know, they were just custom pieces that they always talk about. And of course, one of my favorites, we'll talk about it in a minute, but yeah.
Oh, well, go, let's hear about it.
So there was this outfit in Deviant La Vie, the Blackest King. It was this rope dress.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a bondage dress. And it was one of those, you had to think about it in a different aspect. It was bondage up top, but then it was like this little corset number and then lace at the bottom. But she also had this white on her face, and you guys, sorry, it's white.
Oh, okay. That's the dress you're talking about. Okay.
Yes. And to see this dress and how she performed in it, and this beautiful, she's doing these things with these hats, these custom hats that are just absolutely out of this world. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Like, my God. To see the costumes, the wardrobes, the designers, the ideas, the creativeness behind it, that's what Alex and I always talk about, is how beautiful and how creative these people are. Hi guys, how are you? But also just how we can continue this conversation. So go ahead.
So let's see, what else did I have? We talked about who we are. Oh, I wanted to ask you this. Okay, I had two questions. We'll start with my first question because the other one I had to down. Jay-Z in the video.
I loved it, but go ahead.
So he kind of popped in and we saw him as the quiet husband. He did his part. The amber necklaces.
My God, on the little boy and then on Jay-Z, like, my God, phenomenal.
So was that about reflection? See, I might be trying to dig too deep, but was that about reflection? Was that about instruction or being an example, to the little boy, and about the importance of men in our culture? I felt like there was a lot of
that, correct.
A lot of reference to the importance of men to give to the king, right?
Correct. That's what I got from it. That's what I got from it. Yep, absolutely. And I think that's what we had to go back and think about, how Simba had to reflect on his father and how he appreciated his dad and how he emulated his dad so much and really just wanted to be like him. And that's what we saw in reference of the two. And I think that's what was so beautiful. My God, first of all, that piece was amazing. And I think from my understanding, I think Beyonce said that entire shot was in their backyard.
Whoa.
I just want to say that.
Right.
Just putting that out there.
There was a very Oprah.
It was a very Oprah backyard. It was a very Oprah backyard.
Very
so yeah,
Oprah
from my understanding, it was in their backyard, because I think she went through, where they shot certain things, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
So why were they eating TV dinners?
So I think they wanted to show being humble.
Oh, okay.
I saw the humbleness in the television. You saw the humbleness, and it wasn't anything big and extravagant. But then also, you see her laughing at the end and just making a joke out of it. And he's just like, ah, and they're just enjoying a moment on TV trays with TV dinners and just being as humble as possible.
Got it. Got it. Normalcy. Oh, that's interesting.
See, look, normalcy. Come on, Fifi.
Right. Because they were like completely dressed up.
Completely dressed up. By the way, and someone, if you find out, let us know. These glasses that she had, there were those, listen, Linda, listen. She had those long, exaggerated frames on. Exactly. Like Fifi said, they're everyday people. It's one of those things like that's how they wanted us to see them, as just regular, everyday people.
Oh, okay. So this is my favorite thing of all time. And I've probably said it to you before, because whenever I get an opportunity, I talk about this. There is a show that used to be on Sundance called Iconoclast.
Okay.
Have I told you about this before? The Maya Angelou, Dave Chappelle thing?
No. What is this?
So Iconoclast, the whole theme of the show was that famous people would interview each other, and they would choose each other. And so there was an episode with Dave Chappelle and Maya Angelou, and Dave Chappelle wanted to interview her, and I suppose vice versa, right? And so it's them kind of hanging out for a day and talking to each other and asking each other questions. It is like one of my favorite things, especially this episode. And in the episode, Maya Angelou is showing Dave like her old pictures. Okay. And she has pictures of like her and James Baldwin and Sidney Poitier. And Dave goes, you knew these people? Like, what? This is just your
Oh, yeah.
She just pulled it out of the drawer. She says, yes, they're just people. She said the problem with celebrity is that the average person feels like they can't do it. And Obama said it yesterday.
Yep.
John Lewis was just a young man.
That's it.
When we put people on these huge pedestals, right, we feel like what they're doing is so extraordinary. Yep. I can't do that. And celebrity is one thing, right? Performance, basketball players and singers. But when you start thinking about that in context of political action and community action, and you have all these people and they're on such a pedestal, you think, well, I could never do what, John Lewis did, or C.T. Vivian, or Martin Luther King. And then when you start to hear the stories, you realize these people are 19 and 20 years old, and they were just people.
They were just with a dream, vision, and a focus, and they wanted to change, just like all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt you. I remember looking at this little girl, and you guys have all seen it on Instagram, but there was this really young girl. Everyone was protesting, and this really, really, really young girl, no justice, no peace. And I was just like, what in the world? This is your John Lewis.
Mm.
These are your Thurgood Marshalls. These are your Malcolm X's. These are your Martins. Because it's like these people also have dreams and aspirations, and they're kids. And they see, and I know we've changed subjects, but I think being able to be free is exactly what they want. But also to have a voice, like a John Lewis, like a Barack Obama. And I think that was the beauty behind all of that. So absolutely.
Yeah. No, and I think it's the same subject. I think all of those messages were in there in the way that he does it. I think these are all the conversations that the Knowles Carter family has, and I think it's evidenced in the work and the people who are around them, the Melina Matsoukases and the, all the people. Yeah. So
with that being said, and I know we're coming close to the end, I want to now move this part now into Brown Skin Girl.
Okay.
What was your take on it?
On the song or the section?
The entire section. Yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. I thought, I'll be honest. I thought it was interesting that she made several references to dark skin.
Yep. I pulled that out.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting to specifically pull out dark skin in that song. And I think it's we all know kind of the stigma of that internally in our community and how we talk to each other about dark skin. But I don't know. I thought I would have to listen to the song again to figure out kind of what
Yeah.
her whole purpose was there.
You know, I looked at it in a different sense now of her being, you know, a fair-skinned, light-skinned woman who there was before I saw the images of her and Kelly on social media, and to see them kind of like laughing with each other. And I believe that the song was an opportunity for her to pay respect to women of a darker skin tone than her that have not had the same opportunity as her. And so go ahead.
No. I was gonna say that's interesting. That's what I thought. I thought, is she trying to come from a position of I've gotten some sort of privilege because of my fair skin and blonde hair?
When I was gonna say, like Fifi said, I did too, especially because she's light skinned. My immediate thought was colorism. You know, and it's one of those things, like, she really did discuss dark skin. And, you know, again, I can only speak from a man's point of view. I can appreciate it because I think we don't hear the respect so much for our darker women or our brown skinned girls, like the Naomi Campbells or like the Lupita Nyong'o or like the Kelly Rowland, who she referenced a lot in it. And I think it was a beautiful respect factor. But then also, you know, it was a colorism factor, because I think colorism plays a huge part in really our culture. Because I think, you know, I was reading something the other day about being able to pass that old school, that brown bag test. And if you don't pass that, then, you know, oh, you're not accepted into, you know, the societal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do believe, I think that it was a very beautiful video. It was good to see so many different women of a darker tone and how gorgeous. And I love dark-skinned women, and when you put beautiful colors on dark-skinned women and how gorgeous it just lays on their skin, but then also the voice of just a Black woman. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that we have to really discuss, you know, them being dark-skinned or light-skinned. And I think that's what the song embodies, is just a brown-skinned girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about you? And shout out to Blue. She needs a little bit more singing lessons, but, you know, that's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
When you're Blue Ivy, you can do what you like.
Yeah, look, you Blue Ivy. Look, she owns all of this. So she had a little, you know, as one of my best friends, a little nee around the house, but, you know, shout out.
But it's okay. I think
Blue is Blue, right?
I think she was a producer too. I think she's probably a producer.
Blue. Listen. Blue was in charge of this whole operation. Blue was like, "Nah, B, do this again. Change that. Do that." Jay, don't come out yet. I'm your father, Jay.
Right.
I'll call you when you're ready. Hold on. So.
And I thought it was so cute because I was watching it and I said to myself, "Poor Rumi." I mean, Blue is her ride or die.
Well, I was gonna say Rumi is the PA. She's a production assistant. Like, listen, I need you to bring us water. Beyonce, she's starting to get she's tired, so get us some cloths. We need to keep this rolling. So absolutely.
Right, because you know Sir is riding around with Jay.
Sir is with Jay. He is chilling in some air conditioning. Like, I'm not even worried about all that. He's like, just hold me at the beginning and then put me down.
We got to look out for Rumi. We have to look out for her.
What's next on your list, my love?
Okay, this is the last thing on my list. But if you have a list, I will fall back. And do you have something that you wanted to bring out?
Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go.
The elders are tired. Ooh. That was one of the last lines, or one of the lines towards the end. The elders are tired. And I was like, wow. Again, passing to John Lewis and C.T. Vivian and Joseph Lowry, and, you know, not only are they tired, we're losing them.
I think that's what I got from it. We're losing all of our, and legends is the wrong word to use, but our legends. We're losing, you know, from CT to John, and, you know, you go back and you think about the ones we have left. You know, how do we continue to give them their flowers while they're here? But then also, how do we acknowledge them in the moment? How do we make sure that, I remember there was a photographer here in DC who took some pictures, and maybe he's not in DC, but it was on the news here in DC, and he took pictures of John Lewis in his last photos. and he came out to the Black Lives Matter, and he, had his mask on, and he was just happy. He was able to see the progress, and I think that's what we're missing, and I think they're just tired. And it's a lot, I think we're going through a lot right now in the world, and so to have this opportunity to be able to, as Patty said, passing the torch, it's time for us to now get to a point in life that we can start coaching and training your Angela Rise and your next wave of people to really take those torches, like your Alex Davises and your Deloatch Davis, your Jamir
and
Smith.
Your Jamir Smith.
And the people that just want to have that voice to keep pushing things. It's time for others to step up to the podium and lead the machines to be the voice. Fifi is on it, and I think that's what we are missing out on, is not to say who's going to be our voice, but who will help be the voice. And I think that's what we need in this moment. And the elders, they were just exhausted. I think they have served, I hate to say they've served their purpose. They've served their purpose. They put their footprint into our worlds. And now they're like, hey, we're trying to rest. It's your turn.
I'm so sorry.
Quincy.
But Quincy Davis is on here. Quincy's not even supposed to have Instagram. So she's looking at me.
How does the baby have Instagram? Quincy not even the baby, guys, but how does it look? I'm like, wait a minute, that is Quincy.
Quincy's my youngest daughter, for those who don't know. So she was trying to get my attention earlier, and I was effectively ignoring her. So she's coming to step.
Quincy's like, all right, come on, wrap this up, Mom.
But no. Fifi makes it okay. So Fifi is saying what I have a question about. Okay, it's time for others to step up to the podium, lead the marches, be the voice. So here's my question to you.
Go.
And to the audience.
Yeah, to the audience.
To the audience. Is there a different movement required in this time? And does that movement have to do with media and visual imagery and us showing ourselves as powerful and building our esteem, right? And less to do with march and demonstration and more to do with looking internally? Yes. Mama, you just saying that because you agree with me on things. Oh, Chelsea says yes also. Well, thank you, ladies of my house.
Right.
but
Mommy said yes, absolutely. Yes.
But is that the new movement? Is that what Beyonce is suggesting, right? So like the scenes where she had the butler brushing her teeth and she had the diamonds in the
diamonds in her mouth. Yep.
Is it a thing like, okay, we have all these things now. We have access. They pull up to a mansion. Mm-hmm. The house goes from like leopard print. I mean, the car.
Jay-Z sitting with his feet up in the. I don't even know what. Look, they have something.
What was that?
Was it a rose?
I don't even know. Was it a shadow? A ghost?
Was it a ghost? It could have been as much money as they have. It was probably combined with all three.
It was like a transformer. Like
it came out. This was a Maybach. This was a Ghost. This was a Lamborghini, and it all just kind of came together. I think to your point, we're at a place in life that the visual is definitely something that we need. We're at a place that we are all visual people, and I think social media plays a huge platform for all of us to see things immediate and to receive information quickly. But I also believe that we need to go back to a lot of the old school things that we did, which are protesting and making our voice count and peaceful protesting, because it means something and it's made an impact on the world. And there's so many protests that are still happening that we're not even discussing now. But I think, being able to lead with a purpose and understand what's our end goal? Yes, to get through coronavirus, to get through COVID, to get through this pandemic, but also what is all of our end goal? How do we make sure that we constantly keep our voices heard? But in addition to, as Beyonce did with this, how do we make sure that visually we understand that we're still a family, and times, as Slick said, times are changing and you have to change with them, and people don't respond to the same things, and we get information quicker now. And it's so true. When we look at certain things, people that are all around the world, and you get this information right now from the internet and from your friends and from, someone sending you a text message, you're like, whoa, I've gotten this information so quick now that I can be as effective as possible. Look, we're on live and we can hit millions of people if we want to in this moment. So yeah.
Yeah.
He has been a leading voice, and you can't be what you can't see. And you can't wear a crown with your head down. And you see, I don't know if you guys understood, that woman wore so many crowns in this film because she wanted women to understand how strong and how powerful you guys are, and how you have made a footprint in this world, and how big you are and what you mean to society. So absolutely.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I think you're right. I think it's a both and, right? I think we have to, while we're marching, while we're protesting, while we're speaking truth to power, esteem ourselves at the same time. I think there's some inner work that we need to do, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine this morning. There's some inner work that we need to do to get us to this next whatever the next thing is, right? There's some strength that we have to have, some pride and excitement about who we are, that's gonna give us the stamina to get through to the next thing, right? And to take the rightful seat, to return. I mean, there was a lot of lyrics about going back, getting back to where you were, getting back to who you are. Remember, this esteem is missing sometimes. Absolutely.
And that's the truth. And I think, to what you were saying right now, it's beautiful to get back to where we are, but I think people of color have to understand that we have so much mental that's happening right now, and we're all so mentally affected of everything that is in front of us, is that we need to get cleansing. We need to make sure that we meet with, psychiatrists and psychologists, and that's what they're for. Church is there as well, and that's not what the conversation is how do we make sure that we cleanse our mind and our spirits to be able to move to that next part as well. So
okay, so wait, we only have
right.
No, I was trying to remember what I wanted to say, and then you said it, and we only have 7 minutes left, or like.
This is why we're lying. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out there. We'll get to as much as we can. Sankofa, Ado, is that Sankofa or Sakofa? Because I've heard of Sankofa. This will be something for us to Google later. It's either Sakofa or Sankofa, but Ado, tell us which one it is. The spiritual aspect. I said, when did B&J become 5%ers or Yoruba priests and priestesses? Okay, but here was my takeaway, and I'm going to say it really quickly so you can weigh in. I felt like there was also a lot of reference to the spirituality that our community needs to get back to. So when you think about the movement in the past, it was rooted in the church, right? That's where we, not only was it where we congregated, but it was a source of strength, right? Because you needed faith. You needed to believe in something higher than you, which you said throughout there was one song in the opening. It was the opening song. You are, okay, so it is Sankofa. Okay, I'm gonna fix this first. Okay, so you are part of something bigger than you, and I think faith and church helped us to identify and connect with that, so that we could go out, and risk our lives. They, because we weren't there, but they could go out and risk their lives. So with us being so far removed from any sort of spiritual base, is that a thing that we need to figure out and reconnect with too? And I think you already said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm not a huge churchy person. I'm a person that appreciates the word. And I think, and this is not a plug, but shout out to FCBC. I attend that church out in Harlem. It's, of course, online every Sunday. And I think what I appreciate about that moment is that we need these moments to continue to stay as grounded as possible. But we also need these moments to help us reconnect with ourselves in society. And I think that's what I appreciated about the film, is that, you have to love someone bigger than you, because it's not about us. Right now we're just inside of a walking being that is made for us to live, but also being able to respect the idea that there is someone higher than us that we have to pay full respect and honor to, because every day that we wake up, and again, my blessings into people that have had COVID or have gotten through it, or people that have lost, family for COVID. It's like we were able to wake up another day and live. So that's how you pay honor and pay homage to other people, a higher being than ourselves. So absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, we have 4 minutes.
Okay, so what do you see? What's next for Beyonce? Do you see her coming back out to perform? It's funny, I have this conversation with my friends a lot, because I feel like sometimes you reach a point in your life of, ooh, I'm just gonna sit back and rest. And Beyonce is now, she's a mom of 3 and she's a wife and she's accomplished. How does Beyonce come back from all of this? What are our expectations?
I think Beyonce can do whatever she wants to do. I really believe that they are building a um, a studio.
Absolutely.
I think they're building this creative collective is the quickest word that can come to mind, but I really think they are pulling and attracting some of the best creatives that we have in the culture right now. So Chelsea and I spent some time like going through the credits and stopping them. Mellow X,
Yep.
who was on Lemonade, was on
Yep.
this. Fun
Yep.
story. The first and only time I've ever been to Africa, Mellow X was there. Joshua Kissy, who was on this also. Shout out to Sheree and Tastemakers Africa, and she put together like this dope trip.
I heard your trip was really nice. That's all I keep hearing. I wasn't invited, guys.
I know. This is another story that I tell too much, but those on that trip in this film in their milieu are the best creatives of our time. Yeah. And Melina Masukis and all the people that Solange brings together, and Chloe and Haley, and I think the next thing is to have like a Tyler Perry style production house that does
help other creatives build. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fifi said something really quick before we get off. She's reminding us who we are: creators, artists, queens, kings, royalty, business people, etc. And I definitely want to end with that, because that is exactly what she and Jay and just the entire company is really doing. So
awesome. Wait, before you end, can I read what Sankofa
yeah, please.
Okay. Sankofa refers to learning from the past to move forward, whereas Gainam is also fear in no man except for God. The beautiful thing about these African signifiers that they transcend religion. Yes.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, paying homage, and we appreciate everything from this film, because, from the fashion to, as you said at the beginning, all of the words and the poetry, the music, the history that she paid homage to is exactly what we needed. And it was a beautiful moment. So it was a beautiful.
Yay,
Thank you for this, man.
Thank you. This was so fun.
It was. I think we need another Fashion Friday.
We do. This is a thing.
This is a thing. I think this is a vibe.
Now, okay, my Instagram has upgraded, and now I get the countdown. So we have 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. So I just want to say thank you. This was so fun. Thank you to everybody who tuned in with us. I'm sorry. I saw some people coming on at the end, so I'm sorry you missed all the fun.
Sorry you missed the fun. I was going to say, guys, I will say Sunday, I'll put it in my bio. I'm moderating the Turkish Coalition here in DC, as well as Gay Professional Men of Color. They are pushing us to do this moderation of James Baldwin from Another Place. And so it was when he traveled over to Turkey, and I'm moderating. We already have about 150 people that's already RSVP'd, so we're excited. So I'll put that in the bio.
Yes, please go visit Jamir_Smith.
Yeah, and the show.
Those things.
Gallery 88. Gallery 88.
Yes, Gallery 88. Okay, 1 minute left. So this film was so special to me. Zarina Akers is so special to me because Gallery 88, my company, my media company, is all about promoting Black artists and Black designers and luxury.
Pablo said, "Me too. Sorry, I was late. Sorry."
I'm so sorry, Nina. We're gonna save it and put it online. Absolutely. I see Miss Thelma Golden has joined. Thank you, Queen. That's the grand dame. That is a great way to end off on this. But yes, this was so enjoyable. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Thank you, Jamir.
Thank you. You guys be safe. Happy weekend. Have a safe weekend.
Watch Black King.
Watch Black King.
With your kids. With your family.
Yes. Thank you guys. Be safe.
Bye.